Good evening. Welcome to the City of Laconia Conservation Commission for September 3rd, 2025. I'm Dean Anson.
Deb Williams.
Bob Harrington.
Lisa Moran. Jen Kreitzer.
Gray Draper.
I don't think yours is my turn, son.
Gray Draper.
Thank you. And we have a guest, Bree Ryan. Thank you. So we have a quorum, so we're going to salute the flag first. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Okay, our recording secretary is Mr. Draper. He's also the staff in attendance. This man is wearing so many hats.
That's right.
Okay, so we're going to start off by reviewing the minutes from August 20th.
I move we approve the minutes of August 20th as presented.
I will second that.
Okay, does anybody have any comments? Okay, no comments? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it passes. Thank you very much. Okay. So under old business, we have I think the wetland regulations that we were working on, I think those are done.
So those you said you were all set with, but you wanted to keep on to add something this week about intermittent streams.
Right, right. Okay, so intermittent streams is down further, we can do that now. So oh, there.
Gray, do you have an extra agenda? Or,
Extra one?
yeah,
There you go. You can have mine.
I just wanted Gray to have one.
Okay, so I forgot actually to call DES, ask them about intermittent streams, but I contacted Meredith Conservation Commission Chair Scott Powell and asked him what they use. And he sent an email, but I can't open the email when I go to, oh, sorry. Nope, that's not it. Where am I? Who am I? What am I doing? Nope. I can't open it. But anyway, he gave us suggestions of what they do, which is they treat intermittent streams the same way they treat other streams. Same buffer, and I can still contact DES, especially if I remember. Did anybody get a chance to take a look at that?
I think it makes sense. I did see the regulations from, was it Meredith or was it Belmont?
Meredith.
Okay. I mean, it made sense to me because it is water and it is moving at certain times of the year, and you certainly don't want construction to hamper it or to be affected by it.
I think it makes sense to not treat it differently.
I'm fine with that.
You know, I think, and I also agree, but I think one of the things we need to do is we need to get the map that shows those streams. You know, we have specific tributaries of Paugus Bay by name, and then we have streams that are labeled A through I that are like on some map somewhere, and I may have that map at home. I started looking for it and I got sidetracked. Like I went into a different room, so I'm sidetracked. So, do you have that map?
So
Right.
I don't actually know if a map including the streams and tributaries exists
It does.
alone. Okay.
Well, and it may not be, you're right, it may not be just a map for that.
Yeah,
But
that's
we
what
have
I'm
seen the maps before that do include that.
Okay. Do you know what other markers maybe were on the map? Like, did it have parcels, street information, sewer, water? Because I'm trying to think if maybe Paul has something on GIS that would outline that, or if this was like a paper map.
It was a paper map when we saw it, but
Okay.
I couldn't tell you
Yeah.
if it was, you know, just a city map or what kind of map it was, a street map or.
Yeah, because well,
It was a long time ago. I know, they took that one down.
Yeah.
I liked that one.
I did too.
I just put it up.
Where'd it
like
go?
2 weeks ago. I don't know. I just noticed now it's gone. That was the brand new one. The updated one they just sent over too. So I don't know, but the mystery continues.
You're trying to spiff up the place.
Yeah, but yeah. If you can give me any information, like if you can remember who showed it to you, like if it was in a book or like a roll, maybe I can.
I want to
start
say it was
keeping
so long ago, I feel like it was something Scott had.
Oh, okay. Not zoning.
Do you think
Scott, other
It was
Scott.
that long, I think,
Scott McPhee.
yeah.
Okay. So yes. we'll
You know,
follow
it might be on a map that identifies the labeled streams.
Okay. Because I'm just thinking in the archive room, like there's like old plans in there. I'm not sure if they're maps, but we could poke around, see.
Let me look at home. I'll try to remember
It
all the
might-
way home.
Maybe it has the place on Molten Cove too,
Yeah.
outlined.
I'll
Yeah.
have to look at it, but I was trying to think of the name of that tributary, that Mellinger Brook that was outlined.
Off Old North Main Street.
Yeah. So.
Um,
Yeah, I don't know if maybe that one's delineated on the map that you're remembering as well. If it was published long enough ago.
It would be really advantageous to find a map that included that, maybe it's a state map, you know, who knows? But I'm just thinking when they start the condos behind Pearly Pond, you know, that is kind of a wetland back there, and maybe it's actually part of a brook.
I think that wetland behind Blueberry Lane, I think that wetland flows into Pearly Pond. And if it doesn't flow into Pearly Pond, it may flow you know, the property where the gas station is?
Yeah.
It might, I know that there's a connection between that
Wetland,
wetland, I was gonna say cattails,
because the beavers were back there, weren't they? At one point?
I don't know, I don't remember that. I remember that, I remember walking through it.
But I don't,
That.
does it go under the road then?
So that wetland starts on the Ahern side next to the gas station, goes under the road, and then is all on that side of North Main Street, and then it continues as a stream into under Old North Main, exactly where we test. So I would imagine that might have been called Mellinger Brook.
Okay. I think Deb's right. I think what we need to do is get a map that is up to date so that when a place like Molten Cove calls and says, hey, you know, you got these, and we go and we look at it, and that's an intermittent stream. And that intermittent stream, I'm almost positive, comes from Mike Foot's pond. There used to be a beaver dam back there. When we did the NRI in, what was it, 2009? When we did,
Or 10, yeah, 09 or 10.
yeah. We walked back there. And the beaver dam had just broken through and so it was drying up. But it's a big, wet area.
So, according to the GIS maps that we currently operate on, there's a lot of like fractured stream in that whole quadrant kind of between Parade Road, Roller Coaster Road, Endicott, and then where we are looking over by Molten Cove on Hilliard. So there's a bunch of fractured streams in there, and it looks like the one that specifically is on their property goes up, kind of splinters into about 4 arms, and then kind of dissipates, but it goes all the way up to Endicott North. Kind of, it appears where Moose Ledge is now, that development. So imagining that would be flowing downhill towards the condos, it would start up at Moose Ledge, flow down towards the condos, and be tributary, and it would be leading into Chattel Cove, which is right before Pickerel Cove.
Okay.
Which is where we're looking, so.
And I think it also goes north to the, on the other side of Roller Coaster Road
Oh, yeah.
to Brady Sullivan's property there. Because remember they
Right.
we had to explain to them that they had a buffer along their stream. So I think it goes I think you're absolutely right, it goes all the way up and it goes under Roller Coaster Road because it's uphill there.
Yeah, so, because the one that we're talking about is on this side, and then the other main streams that connect all the way to Pickerel Cove is the one actually branching out that we sample as a tributary.
Right.
That one is all wetlands, goes back, comes close to Mike Foot's pond, but is kind of on the other side of his house, before the pond, and then continues, goes under Roller Coaster Road, splinters off, and then you hit Meredith.
Right.
Yeah, so, and then further up the road is that Chardy campground. Is that the one you're thinking of? Which Brady Sullivan project are you?
Is it
The
the
one
Beaver
off of-
Pond, Beaver Pond Estates or something?
Yes,
It's on
yes,
Breckenridge.
It
across the
abuts-
street from there.
Yeah, it abuts Beaver Pond.
Okay, yeah. That one doesn't look like it directly connects to this one, but there is stream and wetlands delineated on that property, yeah.
So let's see what kind of maps we can find.
Okay.
And, you know, if not, I mean, even checking with the state maps. Because they may have some things too.
Okay. Okay, so if we use for intermittent stream regulations, we use the same one that we have for streams, but then, you know, then we don't have to come up with a separate description of the buffer. We use the same buffer.
Whatever you guys wanna do.
And I think, you know, so Gray and Laura and I went out and sampled the tribs for O-Pee-Chee, and 2 of the 5 were dry. Like the one that flows into O-Pee-Chee is dry. That flows under Elm Street.
Yeah.
That was dry. And that's, I haven't seen that dry before. So, but if we get some rain on Friday, things may change. So I think if we go back up, okay, we're gonna see if we
Is
can.
that so if we do decide to include intermittent streams, do we have to get this, do we have to put this through the planning board? Do we have to put it through the planning department? Do they have to approve it?
Wetland regulations has to go through city council. The first one that we had worked on, the checklist, that was easily adopted by the planning department, and it's just planning board approval.
Okay.
Wetland regulations was kind of a longer process, because to do change, you have to get it approved by city council.
Right.
And so how do we do that? Do we petition to be put on the city council's agenda and share our changes with them?
Right.
And
So-
then,
I'm trying to remember what Rob said. I can't remember if you
Yeah.
also have to go through planning board or if you can go right to council.
Yeah, I feel like it's
But either way, I would
two-stop.
I would say we should be following the same kind of timeline that we did with the checklist, where we have a final draft of whatever edits, changes you want. We bring it to Rob and Tyler. They can look over it for, I guess, editing that the Tyler does to put the finishing touches on like legal language, and then that draft and then they would put it on the council agenda.
okay, I think the other thing that would be good is if we got Rob and Tyler, then we did the planning board. And we made a presentation to the planning board saying, these are the changes we would like to see in the wetland regs,
Yeah.
so that they're aware of them. And then hopefully they will either approve them, or they'll ask us to make some revisions, and then we go to city council. Because I think if we go to city council with planning board approval, there's a better chance that,
Yeah. Or some kind of support, yeah.
I don't know, what do other people think?
I think, let's start by being able to map them, to be able to show people where they are, show the council where they are. I feel like the council is gonna need some, background, maybe a little worksheet to understand what we're trying to do, to explain why it's important, so, before we just jump in and present it to them.
Are you saying like the folder you had for vernal pools, something for intermittent streams, or are you talking more focused than that?
Just a sheet that explains, what we're trying to do and why, I think.
And what we're trying to do is get protections for intermittent streams as the same that we have for non-intermittent streams, for the purpose of protection and, I don't want the protection, because they also serve as a conduit for runoff and
Right.
all that, okay?
Right, so it's, you're protecting the streams, the water, but you're also protecting the land, the property.
It's a flood,
Right.
yeah. I'm just saying, to say, well, we should just protect them isn't, I think is not a good argument. I understand what you're saying.
That's why I said I think we need to
Yeah.
have a little background for it, and, and maybe we should be open to, like Rob may say, or the planning board may say, well, we don't think it needs 50 feet, maybe it's 25,
The-
but at least it would be
I-
something.
If I can write a note, I can look at the USGS information and see if they have anything
Okay.
on backgrounds, because they put intermittent streams on their topo maps and stuff, so.
That would be great, thank you.
And I think the other thing is that we have tributaries that flow into Langley Brook that come from the other side of White Oaks Road.
Yes.
And I think that those were mapped by Lake Winnipesaukee Alliance and FB Environmental when they did their study of Langley Brook.
Right.
So I think that if we have a map that says, this is where, you know, this is where the, where the wetlands are in the city. And, you know, one of the most important aspects of having these water bodies protected is they are the source of the drinking water.
Yeah.
And that was, frankly, that was a thing that, when we went to the city council and told them we wanted first order streams to be included with a buffer, they didn't understand that, because the buffers around the streams, like over on the other side of White Oaks Road, those are small streams. But you know, when we told the city council that they're important to preserve our drinking water quality, then they understood that we weren't just like trying to be obstreperous, but
Okay, we'll look for maps.
yeah, okay. I'll look at home, I promise. I got it. Number one on my list. Okay, so, all right, so are we done with the wetland regs and intermittent streams? We done with those two?
So, yeah, so, I mean, so you're saying, include the intermittent streams, whatever we discover or decide how to protect them, include that into the wetland regs?
Right.
Okay,
So that we say tributaries, including intermittent streams, have a,
okay.
30-foot buffer on either side from the top of bank, on either side of the stream.
I think it's 50.
Right.
I think it's 50. Isn't it 50 feet?
For intermittent streams?
No, for right now, for any stream.
Vernal pools are,
No, not vernal
100.
pools.
Vernal pool, he's thinking. Vernal pools are 100. I think it's 50 anyway.
I think it's 30 on either side, which makes it 60.
cause you guys were saying 30 feet from top of bank.
Right,
That
that-
was your suggested,
No, that's what I said, but that's not necessarily a fact. It's what I said.
no, I'm saying last session when you guys, last time this was being edited, you guys were discussing measurement being from the top of bank rather than the center of the stream.
Right.
Stream is 30, yeah.
Okay.
30 on each side.
For intermittent and
Intermittent.
perennial, it's just 30 setback, it's not really specific.
So it already says intermittent.
Yeah,
Oh,
Okay.
in the table, we have to, the question is the language as specific as you want it?
right.
Okay.
Outside of the table, but.
Okay.
Okay. So, any other comments on that? Okay, so, back to 8.11, Gale Avenue Rain Garden. So we talked about doing the plantings in mid-September and the watering of the plants and of the grass that's been planted is being undertaken by Parks and Rec. And I just saw Wes Anderson just a few minutes ago, and he said that the grass is already up. The
Wow.
grass seed is sprouting because they've been watering it. And he said he finished, DPW finished doing their work there by putting up the fencing. They tore down the old fencing. He said, actually, when they touched it, it fell down. So they have put PVC pipe into the ground, and then they put the posts into that so that if the posts rot, they can easily replace it. And he said he's all done there, Amy's all done, and now it's up to us to do the plantings. And before we started the meeting, we were talking about who could help do the
I'm sorry.
do the plantings. And Lisa suggested we talk to the Bank of New Hampshire, and she has the contact person there for their volunteers. And then I thought if we contacted Work Opportunities Unlimited and asked them to help, you know, they've always been very cooperative.
Right.
And helpful. So, and then I don't know if anybody wants to do, I know that most of you work. So if we did it on the weekends, maybe we could, anyway.
Well-
I talked to, I told you last meeting, I talked to Patty, that's with 2 T's, Patty at Pedal Pushers, and I gave her a list of plants, which Gray has included later on in the agenda, and she's gonna pull those aside and hold them for us until we're ready to plant them, so.
So I know, Bank of New Hampshire, they give their employees time off to volunteer, but it would be like during the workday. So
Okay.
it would be like a Friday or
Well,
something.
that's what he was asking.
And then the same with,
Work
Work
Unlimited.
Unlimited. Yeah,
Okay.
it would be during the week,
Okay,
just to keep that in mind.
okay, that's fine. Okay, I can do that. Okay. All right, so anything else on Gale Avenue? Okay. The NRI proposals, natural resource inventory proposals are due on the
Fri-
5th, which
Friday.
is Friday.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether,
I touched base with Gina today and asked her if we've gotten any questions or submissions, and she said not as of now.
I thought they had
so-
one, no?
What?
I thought they had one.
I'm not sure. Did you guys end up sending it to FB?
Didn't you?
I contacted FB and asked them if they had gone to, you know, to the city website to look, you know, I cautioned them that there was gonna be an RFP there, and if they wanted to respond, then
Okay.
they had to. I mean,
Okay.
they could.
Yeah.
So,
So we can figure out when the deadline comes, depending on where we're at. You want to do.
okay. Okay, then Jen put together a list of the Conservation Commission projects that we were gonna share with the city council. And I thought the list was really good, thank you.
Welcome.
And we probably have to flesh it out a little bit, so that when we send it to city council, they'll better understand what we're talking about, and not just, oh, it's a long list,
It's great.
so.
Yeah, I figured we could maybe add to each piece, you know, well, probably not, every single one probably doesn't need more information, but maybe just add.
Pearly pond vegetation. It is pretty bad. I went by there today. I almost got out and was like, I'm just gonna clip these.
Well, I don't think we should do that. I don't think we should
I know you said that.
take
but
it upon ourselves to do it, because
I just,
Rob was going to contact Luke Powell, who is a wetland scientist, and ask him to map the pond and the wetland around the pond.
Right.
And I think he was going to ask Luke to investigate the drain from the pond, because the pond, in relative to other water bodies, looks really high,
Right.
right? I mean, given the amount of rain that we haven't had,
And how much is coming out of the pipe to O-Pee-Chee?
none. That when,
So,
when we went down
Something's
to,
clogged.
yeah, when we went down to sample the other day, there was,
Yeah,
Yeah, it must be clogged.
it's like an inch of water, maybe.
and apparently, Wes Anderson is going to do a survey of the stormwater piping in the city using whatever he uses. Cameras that they,
Right.
put in pipes to investigate the pipes to see if they're clogged or. So, but I don't think Rob knew when Wes was going to do that, and I think, anyway, so,
So I see Jen has, in one instance at least, if not more, so attendance, training, events is a category. I mean, I'm wondering if we could assist by breaking these into, like, categories or sections. So like, review permit applications is an ongoing or part of our meeting duties.
Mhm.
Review plans, Pearly Pond vegetation, are we doing that, quarterly or whatever? You know what I'm trying to say? I think
Yeah,
we-
so
I-
like
we should-
projects and then
Yeah, and just kinda-
ongoing and education.
like a work plan,
Right, right.
if you think that's helpful.
Yeah, no, I think it is, because the easier it is for them to read and understand, the better it will be.
I think the easier we can make it for us to update it, so that when we take on another project, we can put that in there.
Right. We can also add lake and stream cleanups as one of our projects, because we have done that consistently. We did some invasive pulling of the weeds down at Bartlett Beach, right, last year?
I wasn't involved with that.
Yeah, you were
Was
there.
it? Yeah.
You were there.
Oh, okay.
And then you're always pulling
Yeah,
out the
yeah.
bittersweet wherever you go.
Yeah, it was-
So
I don't know if you've seen the map of invasives I did for Taylor community.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, it's like the city. It's terrible.
not much has changed there.
Yeah.
Nobody's attacking those invasives.
And I was down at the Fish and Game ramp, trimming some of the bittersweet down there, and it is just going to seed now. So now would be the time to
Yeah,
cut it,
yeah, right, yeah.
because the seeds aren't mature, they're still blue.
The berries, you mean, are they berries?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're berries.
You mean before the birds eat them?
Yeah, before the birds eat them.
Spread them?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I already saw blue bird poop on the deck, so.
Thank you.
If our lake host would clean up that, anyway. Okay, so,
Yeah, this is a good start for sure.
okay, so then, does somebody want to divide these into the groupings that you talked about? Projects and ongoing activities or responsibilities?
I mean, I could get something started, but
It's
it would
hard
have
because
to,
you weren't
it would have to
here.
be, right, it would
Right,
have to
right.
be kind of edited by someone who
Okay,
knows better,
but-
but I could probably get something started.
that would be great. If you get it started, we'll talk about it next meeting, and we can add and subtract and multiply and divide them.
Well, I mean, if Gray wants to send it out, or you do, Jen, send it to Gray and disseminate to all of us. We didn't already get this, right?
Right.
So that could be,
That's true.
we could each take a stab at it and see whose ideas we like and put them together. I mean,
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true too.
That's a good idea.
And then we can
and add
combine
things,
everything,
yeah.
yeah.
Right.
I wasn't sure if it'd be easier to have a sheet or a document. I have it in a document right now, but it might be easier to do something in a sheet so we can have separate tabs or something, but.
Yeah, I'm thinking like what I might even do is put them like in an Excel document and then have everyone just put their name next to the idea that they were supporting. So
So
I think
how about, what would we all suggest for topics? Maybe that's
Well,
easier
let me-
to start.
Can I build on what Gray
Yep.
said, though? The question, you said that we all support them. I think we are not in disagreement on any of these, right?
Right.
So we support all the activities, so I don't think any of those will change, so thank you, Jen. I think so like for me, I would put attendance at trainings, events, and conferences as one standalone. And then like Lakos as a conservation Conservation Commission sponsored programs would be another like category.
Uh-huh.
And then I'd have to.
Ongoing projects or.
I would put community contribution or community projects. That's where the Gale Ave and the Pollinator and the Adopt-A-Spot would go, because, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
Those are community outreach programs, if you want to call them outreach, that we're doing. I think, so things like the NRI are like once every 10 years kind of projects, so that would be a special project.
You're so good at this, Lisa.
I know.
Well, no, I'm just saying,
This is what she does. She's good at this.
I will leave the rest to you. You know, so we could put Pearly Pond vegetation under with Adopt-A-Spot and stuff like that, because it's an ongoing, monitoring that'll be ongoing for us.
Okay. Yeah, we can all take a stab at it.
Yeah, I think the
With
wild,
this list, I mean, this is a great list to start, for sure. Yeah, we should put the
wild
Whale
trails.
Trail signs that we still have to get up.
That's all right.
Stop laughing.
No, I've got, mine is still in my car somewhere. The one
I
I
think
got.
there was
so.
something on the other list and I wasn't sure what it,
That would be a community project.
Maybe the other thing to go on this list, I'm sorry if I'm not, I should be looking at it. We have, like, our outreach, so it would be like reporting to the city council is something that we're doing.
Yep.
As outreach ongoing, because they requested that. We were going to be doing something, I fell on my face with it, but we were gonna be doing something in the e-news.
Yeah, I was just thinking that whatever we report out to the city council, we could make sure it goes into like Laconia Links.
Mm-hmm.
And then we don't have to worry about writing an article or doing, I mean, it would be right there. That would be good. A lot of people read that.
so what about, we have a website, right?
the city has a website.
We have a
There's
page.
Conservation Commission page.
Yeah.
it's pretty robust though.
The what?
It's pretty robust, I feel like, compared to some of the other ones.
Yeah, some of the others don't have many words to stretch it. But Concom has a brief blurb about what your body is, what it does, and then it has some resources, and then
Yeah,
it
we have-
has the Conservation Commission members.
Yeah, we have resources, which are great,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has like all the easements and,
Yeah.
but also some, like, I think there's some invasive information on there, and, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, we had started that with like snow information. Remember we'd done all that?
Yeah.
Snow storage and
Right.
all that stuff. So I haven't looked at it for a
I
long
don't
time.
know I don't know if the snow storage is on there.
Well, we put something about snow, I thought, I'm just saying, we tried to hit all seasons.
we have water quality monitoring information.
She's- That's right, go right to
I
it.
mean, I think it has a ton,
Yeah.
I think it has really good information.
Yeah. Is there a link to New Hampshire DES too? I know some of the information is from them, probably. You don't think so?
I don't see one just like at a quick glance, but
That might be something that's good, only because they have so much more information if somebody's looking for a specific topic.
And they do have last I checked, they do have a specific page that's like publications or something,
Right, right.
so.
We have a website, a Facebook page. We have a Facebook page.
Do we still?
Do we still have a Facebook page?
We do. It's called,
We
it's
did
called
great.
something like
We did.
conservation, two words,
No,
quote unquote.
I don't think it's-
Absolutely. Look it up.
Some lines.
Get connected. Get connected. It's never too late to get connected.
who's in charge of that?
I don't know.
Nobody,
Yeah,
nobody.
that
We
was
haven't
the
done anything.
problem.
Because I think we were told that we could
We
not
couldn't do
have-
it.
We couldn't, no, yeah, I think either Greg or Scott did it.
Laconia Conservation,
Yeah, because there was some,
10 years ago.
10 years ago, yeah. Yeah,
That
so
was the-
whoever
That was
the-
the last post.
Wow.
Because I think it was Scott, Scott maybe did it.
Yeah, Scott McPhee did it, and,
Laconia Conservation,
right?
like
It's-
conservation.
yeah, because the city has rules about what you can post and what you can't.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what I was really asking was,
There's a picture.
what's Rob's position in terms of us having, the Conservation Commission, having a Facebook page?
Yeah.
Because, you know, if we connected that Facebook page with
I don't think we need a
some
Facebook page.
Laconia organizations, then maybe we could get more volunteers and more,
I don't know. I don't think people use Facebook like that anymore.
Yeah. You might, if it, you know, is Instagram, I mean, even Instagram's kinda getting old.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you
I
got
mean,
an
there's-
older you have an older population, so they may still be
that's right.
referring to that, but,
I don't know. I think if we, because on our page, on the city website, I think isn't there a thing that says like projects or something? So, I mean, there's a place we could put pictures of different projects.
I think hearkening back to the links, the e-news links or whatever, would be a better way. Like if we have something that we really want people to know about and then direct them to the page at that time.
Well, okay,
When we get the Gale Avenue,
Gale Avenue would be a great,
Yeah.
when we get that done, we can take a picture and put it on.
yeah, I've taken pictures of it as it is now, or before the grass started to grow. So, and, so I talked to Wes about removing the silt socks. And he said, you know, probably you wanna leave them there until at least the spring. And I said, I think we wanna leave them there until they disintegrate.
As long as they're not a tripping hazard for anybody.
Well, okay. It'd be part of their aerobic program.
Is that, I mean, we wouldn't do it for every project, but is it something that we can reach out to the Daily Sun to have them cover things like the Gale Avenue and?
I mean, we have in the past.
I think,
But-
yeah, well, so I know Adam Dropshow used to be the one that was kind of involved in that, and I think I don't even know if he's there anymore, but I know that
He is either.
Cooperative Extension kind of contracted with him to do a lot of their stuff.
Right,
And
right.
Gabriel, is his name Gabriel
Mhm,
now?
mhm.
He's the one that I see most often at like civic things,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, he's usually at the city council meetings.
Right.
yeah.
So I think okay, so one of the things we need to be mindful of is the Gale Avenue project is funded by a 319 grant that the Winnisquam Watershed Network got. So we're just the people planting the
We're a
rain
partner,
garden.
we're a partner on that project, but they're
Right,
the lead.
we are a partner, and So,
We can make sure that we mention them.
right, but that's what I'm
Well,
saying.
no, I mean, it's good
No,
publicity for them too.
Yeah,
What I would suggest, because, no, I'm just saying,
I know.
because they have a grant, I would suggest contacting them before we do any news release, because they may have stipulations in the grant
Right.
that says you must mention the grantor, or you must use this language, or something, usually about the grantor. It helps
Good point.
them, you might be able to help them meet their outreach goals, or something like that by conferring with them. I understand that you might not want to give them total control about what's printed because we want to also promote our own things, but
I think as long as it gets out there, it's good, yeah. No, that's a very good point.
okay. We're like, I don't know what we have an agenda for. I'm not sticking to it. I mean, really.
it's all
You
right.
want to look at mine, very good.
No, okay, so, so we're done with city council, we're done with intermittent streams. Now we're down to Langley Brook study and remediation project, and I had a brief conversation with, Bree Rossiter at Lake, Winnipesaukee Alliance about
Excuse me.
picking up this project and taking it to the next level. FB Environmental did the survey of the stream, and they identified specific areas that needed to have some reclamation done, remediation, whatever. And I thought that if we got them to help us identify what had to be done at each specific location with an approximate cost, that we could use conservation funds to implement those projects on each individual, so that, because we can't do, the DES said we couldn't do any dredging of Langley Cove until we took care of the problems in Langley Brook that were contributing to the sedimentation. So I thought that if we could get this started, and we could probably go to Rich Tilton and ask him if he can help us either raise some funds or help us do the work. And he's only here during the summer because then his family's camp closes up.
Did I read where they may make that year-round now?
The camp?
Yeah,
I don't know.
the park there. That's what I thought I read that. Was it 7 projects? Is that what I remember?
I think there's 7 or 8 specific locations along the stream
Okay.
where there were problems.
Are they also testing for temperature?
Who?
With the buoy?
Well, I'm thinking this, well,
Oh, you mean in Langley?
in Langley Brook and at dumping into the cove?
I don't think so. Are they? Gray, isn't it Busby?
Busby.
Busby's, they're not sampling.
I don't
Doing any-
believe so. I mean, I haven't heard anything about that.
So, this is just my thought, and I'm sorry if I'm just coming late to the, so there's just so much stonework and
There's
everything.
what?
So much stonework related to that project. As you drive by, you look, so much stonework. And I don't see a lot of opportunity for shading of any runoff. So I'm just thinking that you might find you start having temperature issues with the water. So I mean, that's another pollutant. Temperature is another pollutant, and if they're not doing an assessment on temperature, you don't know how hot the water is that you're dumping into the shallow cove.
Well, when we do, one of the tribs for Paugus Bay is Langley Brook. And so we sample and we get temperature, we get
Okay.
turbidity, all the same parameters, but we do sample temperature, and I don't recall off the top of my head whether the temperature there was elevated.
No, it falls in line with the rest of the tributaries for that area of Paugus Bay.
How is the flow?
It was
So-
flowing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last summer, the problem was it was seemingly stagnant until we would get heavy rains.
Right.
And then we would have a bunch of runoff. This year, it seems to be behaving very naturally. I haven't seen any runoff or sediment issues there this summer. So hopefully that continues. We also haven't had like any rain.
Right.
So that's a big
Right.
part of it.
Well,
So,
after this weekend, you might see some change.
I know.
But the other thing is, I think that Busby put a silt,
Good curtain.
they put a silt curtain down just before it goes under the bridge.
Yep. They did that
On
last
Weirs Boulevard.
summer.
Right.
When we first had that bad rainfall.
Right, when the chocolate milk was in the,
Yeah.
we had dark chocolate and we had light chocolate, you know, milk chocolate and dark chocolate. So I think, you know, that's a good point, Lisa, but that part that comes right before the bridge is in an area that's pretty wooded.
Right.
Yeah, that goes up
For
to
now.
White Oaks Road.
Right,
There's a large wetland before you get up to White Oaks.
right, then. And I think that wetland is on,
Prescott?
no, it's not on Prescott. I don't think it's on Prescott. I think it's on
Brady?
Brady Sullivan's property.
Yeah.
I'll have to look again. It's a quite a large parcel.
And the last time I was up there walking on Prescott Farms trails, I thought it looked to me like there was water in that wetland area. But the beaver dam has disappeared. The beavers have moved.
Yeah. It's kind of split between two parcels. It's split between Rich Tilton's parcel, but most, and then a piece of it is on Prescott, their conservation land that's all wooded and untouched, but, yeah. It's like right on the property line between the two.
Mm.
So,
Great.
Okay. Okay, so I think that if you want, I'll reach out to FB Environmental and ask them if they would be willing to help us define what needed to be done at each of those 7 or 8 locations, and then help us to walk the stream.
LWA might have a list of those already.
They do have a list, but they
Okay.
don't have prices,
Okay.
because I asked them if they had prices, but you're right, LWA has them. Lake Winnipesaukee Alliance, LWA. Okay. I didn't get any updated information on the drinking water project in Paugus Bay.
So I did see Ben this week at the boat ramp,
Oh, that's right.
and I asked him how the buoy was doing, and he said it's up and great. So this was a project to put a buoy in Paugus Bay to constantly test the water, so it's in real time, right in front of the intake valve for our drinking water. So it's a great thing. And he said it's up and running. He said it's doing a great job. He said it's testing it for all kinds of things that they might not even need, but yeah. It's
Yeah,
so
specific-
nice. That was like a really quick turnaround.
I think one of the big advantages was that FB Environmental did the project and they had experience doing Walkie-Wan.
Right.
So they already knew how to do this in
And that should definitely probably be an article in the paper. Because, first of all, probably 40% of the population may not know that Paugus Bay is our drinking water.
Right.
So it could be a very informative article. Yeah. Maybe in this off season.
Okay. Deb, you want to talk about Lake Host?
Yeah, so we wrapped up for the season, Lake Host at O-Pee-Chee. Meg Amon was over there on weekends, and the count for this year was 297 boats in the 8 weekends of the summer. And that is up about 100 from last year.
Wow.
100 boats?
Well, that we had counted, yep.
Right,
Yep.
okay, good.
So we will have some money left over, which will be rolled over to next year, so maybe we won't have to donate as much. I mean, this year we donated $1,500 to New Hampshire Lakes to match their grant. But I think we may have, and I have to see how the budget comes out, but we'll probably have like $800 left over there. So, and it wasn't, Meg is moving to Conway, so she couldn't continue doing the weekends, but yeah. So that'll be good.
And New Hampshire Lakes keeps that money in our account.
Okay.
So it's
And
not,
rolls it over, yeah.
yeah, they just roll it over just like Deb said, yeah. So we don't have to do anything about that. But I think it's important to let the city council know that, you know, we did that many boats and that it's up from, so the advantages of having a lake host there, it's 100 more boats than we did last year.
Right.
In the same number of days, so.
Right.
Good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Gray, you want to talk about water sampling of O-Pee-Chee and Paugus Bay, please?
Sure. Like Dean said, for O-Pee-Chee, last time we were out last week, 2 of the 5 tributaries were pretty much bone dry. So that's not great, and we were kind of just discussing the super low lake levels around town. Paugus was, like I said, levels were low, but we didn't have any new dry sites. The 3 that are usually dry down on Paugus Park continue to be, but those are usually dry for most of the summer unless we have a really wet summer. So Paugus is behaving normally. O-Pee-Chee is doing less well, but that's pretty much the update. We are done with our August sampling for O-Pee-Chee, and we did August sampling for O-Pee-Chee and Paugus. September now we have to do our next round, so, and then I believe our season ends in early October. So we'll have 1, maybe 2 more trips, assuming we did both on the same day. Right now it is myself, Dean, and Laura Norton, mainly volunteering to do it. Some of our equipment this last sample seemed to be a little off, and we were having trouble calibrating. I went, dropped those samples off, tried to contact Liam about it, haven't heard back, so we'll see if I can catch him next time. It's not super dramatic off. I think it still would maybe be covered by the margin of error that they would calculate with their lab results, but I think it's something worth noting when we get those results back in December. So, yeah, that's the update on water sampling.
Good, thanks, thanks.
And the numbers have been pretty consistent through the summer?
Yeah, some have been surprising. Some, was it last time or 2 times ago? Some of the turbidity we pick up, certain tributaries that are a little bit more cloudy, and the numbers of, oh, I can't remember what the unit is, but the turbidity reading is not as bad as we thought it would be, which was
Because there
really
hasn't been any
surprising.
rain.
I know.
Yeah,
So yeah,
okay.
everything. Nothing's been a super outlier, but yeah.
I think I know Winnisquam has been clearer this year,
Yeah.
like when they do the Seki dish and everything,
Yeah.
that it's been much clearer because there hasn't been any runoff.
Yeah. I would be curious to see what Bree gets, cause when LWA does their deep water with the sucky disc,
Right.
in Paugus, but yeah, there's like, which I guess is not good that we don't have rain, but good we have less runoff from people's lawns into the water. But yeah, I want to follow up with FB Environmental and get an update on how the water department is doing with the new water intake buoy, getting that set up since we haven't heard from them in a little while. So yeah.
I think if we asked FB, or the water department, ask Ben if he has a regular update on the project, so he could just share it with us so that we knew what they were sampling for and,
How it's looking.
yeah, yeah. I think the thing about doing the, sampling the trips, particularly in, for Paugus, is we sample streams over in Southdown that come out of the state forest. What's it called? Paugus Bay State Forest. It comes out of Paugus Bay State Forest, and we sample just as it comes out of that forest, and the water temperature is significantly cooler than we sample just before it goes into, or just when it goes into Paugus Bay, where it's gone through a couple of ponds that are, exposed to a lot of sunlight and don't have much shade, and the temperature difference is pretty significant. So, and that's, back to what Lisa was talking about with Langley Brook, is that the water temperature, because it's in a shaded area, comes out fairly cool. So, anyway.
As long as that shade stays.
Yeah, I mean, and I was just doing a windshield look. I
Yeah.
didn't drive in there or
Yeah.
anything, so.
Okay. Lake Coast, water, okay, so now we're down to, we don't have any subcommittees, we don't have any upcoming business or events. Anybody have other business?
I do.
Oh.
Let's see, so, just some dates to remember. So tomorrow, and I know that's short notice, Molten Borough, the town of Molten Borough is doing a presentation on their clean water activities for Winnipesaukee there. It's at the Molten Borough Library tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, I think it is. Kevin Kelly is putting on so he's just gonna talk about what they've done as a group, for Winnipesaukee, and how they work, the money that they raise and everything to keep, the milfoil out, and also cyanobacteria. They, as far as I know, I think they were one of the first groups, Molten Borough, to start any kind of, clean water group for the lake, for Winnipesaukee, so that might be interesting. Prescott Farm has a harvest festival on Saturday, September 13th, from 10 to 3. They said last year they had 800 people there. You don't do any kind of setup there? Oh, you do?
I'm all signed up to do it, yeah.
Okay.
So
When
if
is
you
it
have
again?
anything you want me to put on the
It's,
table,
September 13th.
800
Saturday.
people,
Sorry?
800 people?
That's what they said.
Cool.
Yeah. So maybe maybe we give you some of our flyers to put
Yeah,
on
no,
the table.
certainly you can. I mean, there's what I'm surprised is like, I don't remember talking to that many people. But
Right. I mean, I don't know. That's
Yeah.
that's what it said in the paper. What else do I have here? There's a survey on New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions that we should all take. So that's nhacc.org. It's they're trying to, I think, update their kind of master plan. So they are looking for people to take the survey online. Do we want to talk about the email from Rob about a representative for the master plan?
Sure, go ahead.
We got an email from Rob that they're putting together a committee to get ideas for the master plan, to see what, like the Heritage Committee and, I don't know, everybody.
is this the October 6th date?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. So we really need somebody to be at that meeting to, talk about, and I don't know if it's just an organizational meeting, I don't know what it's gonna entail. I can't make it, unfortunately.
Is that for the steering committee that they're putting together? 'Cause
Yes.
it came up at the city council meeting. That's what they're talking about?
Yeah.
I think so.
I was gonna go, but I mean, I think as many people as want can go.
No, I think it's,
It
am I
didn't-
wrong? I thought they
think-
wanted one from each committee.
I think they're looking for one representative from each committee. I'm not sure if it's gonna be an open meeting or not. If it's open, then you can attend, but if it's if it's idea generation for the steering committee, I don't know if that'll be open. The regular steering committee meetings will be closed.
Yeah, it made it sound like it was a closed meeting and
Yeah.
that they just wanted one rep from each committee.
Could you find out if we can have one rep, but can other people attend?
Yeah, I'll ask.
All right, and the other thing I saw was, as of July 1st of this year, it's illegal to throw away rechargeable lithium-ion batteries in the trash. It has to be recycled through special collection programs like the household hazardous waste programs. So, just for everybody out there watching, don't throw your recyclable
I think,
batteries away.
didn't they say that Lowe's and Home Depot were accepting the batteries?
They could be, I'm not sure.
I think Lowe's has always had something
That-
that
yeah.
where you can
Yeah.
bring them in. I don't know if it's a specific type of battery though. Like, I don't know if it's that one
The lithium ion,
yeah.
yeah.
The
I'm not
problem is
sure.
that they'll
I know they
catch
had
on fire.
something, but I don't know if it was
right,
that specific.
I don't know what it is either.
Okay, I think that's all I had.
Okay, thanks. Anybody else?
I have kind of, I don't know if it's other business. I have a kind of a question. Just
Okay.
something that came up.
Sure.
I believe it's probably addressed in the wetland regs already. I was thinking because at the city council meeting, it was chickens came up,
Right,
which I think is great. I think that people being allowed to have chickens is great. I think they're accepting public comments at the next meeting, so I don't think it's something that's passed at this point, but I was just thinking, is that something that, would be a concern for us as far as,
I think it's in the regs.
Yeah, I mean, they came up with a law, a chicken law, because people had wanted, and there was controversy about which zone people could have them. I think for the Conservation Commission, where it comes up for us is the nutrient management.
Yeah, I think, but I wanna say somewhere in the wetland regs, didn't it say something about
Oh,
barns and sheds and that kind of thing?
it does, I think, Deb.
Yeah.
What I was looking at was, it says agricultural activities and operations as defined in RSA you know, it talks about farm, agriculture and farming. I don't know if that would fall under this, or if this is more like, you know, big ag type that they're referring to, or,
Right.
but,
I think it's a good point that the city council know that there are regulations concerning how close to a stream
yeah.
they could put their hen house.
I know that didn't come up as part of what
Right.
the discussion of the meeting, so I was just
I-
curious.
I wouldn't limit it to proximity to water, though, Deb.
No.
I mean, because you have soils and you have vegetation. I mean, the chicken manure, if not handled properly, can be pretty volatile.
Right.
And then also, I mean, I think their big concern about like gardens and all that other stuff would be introducing vermin into the city or attracting vermin. So proper management is a bigger issue than proximity to water and runoff.
Okay, that makes sense. But that wouldn't really fall under our,
Yeah, I think it does.
it does.
Wildlife and all that other
Yeah.
stuff, yeah, I think it does.
I would add something maybe to the buffer section that explicitly addresses such as like free range chickens, because people won't have the shed or chicken coop within the wetland buffer. But if they,
Well, they might without thinking about it,
well,
if it's not,
yes.
if it's not specifically addressed.
Yes, I'm saying that they may have their coop outside of the buffer thinking we're good, but if they let their chickens roam up to an intermittent stream or some other water body on their property, I would be encouraging them to have some kind of
Fencing.
fence on the buffer.
Fence or mobile fencing.
Yeah, because if a lot of them, I think a lot of people, their idea is they want to do the chickens and they want to be able to like get fresh eggs
Right.
at home. That's great if they're doing free range chickens, and they happen to be a house that's down on, what's the one that we always, Leighton Ave or something like that, right? They get the okay to have chickens, those chickens can just walk right down to the shore if we don't have anything.
So, was there anything about free-range chickens? I would be surprised if they would allow that in the city.
I know there was conversation about the coop would have to be where it could be placed on the property. I mean, there's a lot of restrictions, like it's not just anyone, you know, there's a lot of restrictions already, but.
And isn't there a restriction on the number that you can have too?
I think the number, and you can't have roosters,
I know
and
you
and it has to be, you have to have like a certain amount of land. I want to say like maybe at least an acre. It can only be single family dwellings.
I feel like it was less
But
than.
I don't know if they said anything about the free range part. I know there was specifics about where the coop had to be located. It couldn't be in the front of the property. It had to be the side or the back.
I mean, it would be tough if you had free-range chickens running through your neighbor's driveway. That wouldn't work.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of,
Belmont.
there's an.
Oh, do they have them in Belmont?
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Uh,
oh, yeah.
Every time you drive through Belmont, there, get off 106 and there's some chickens beside the road.
Yeah. I mean, I was driving down a road in Belmont, and there was there were guinea hens following a,
Pheasant. Turkey.
Jesus.
I forget what, anyway. So I think it, you know, we're talking about free-range chickens, and chickens in particular, but on Layton Avenue, when I lived on Layton Avenue, down the street from me, they had not only chickens, they had a rooster, they had chickens, and they had goats.
Yeah.
So
They're
it's,
not allowed that.
and it was there were people who objected, but because the mother of the owner of the house was on the city council, they treaded lightly and told, anyway.
You know what I'd love to see? And I mean, we already have, what are we doing with dog poo? We've got, I'm just saying, that's really our biggest, dog poo is really our biggest issue, because, yeah, I'm never gonna go out and get chickens, but, you know, and we already have ordinances about, I think we do, right?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
You have them what?
You're supposed to have to pick up after it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know about disposal.
Right, that's the issue.
regulation. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
people pick it
most
up in a
people just
bag.
throw it in the trash.
They just pick it up in a bag and they just toss it on the side of the road and leave it, you know?
Yeah, I
Or
mean,
it just goes in the regular garbage.
yeah.
Hmm?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you
Or
do
it ends
with
up in the storm drain. People just like kick it because they don't want to.
Well, I'm just saying, I think that's something, seriously, I think if that could be a project of the Conservation Commission. I mean, DES, 10 years ago, DES had a booklet modeled after one of the cities that did a real, like canvassing the neighborhoods and all that other stuff. And so where I'm going with this is I'm speaking from a person that also sits on a board about trails, and I can't tell you how many times somebody's like, oh yeah, the forest is dotted with poo bags, because people will pick it up, but they won't take it with them. They'll put it in a bag and leave it in the woods. They won't take it
Right.
with them.
Or
Yeah.
leave it at the boat ramp, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, I'm just wondering if that's not something that we could put on our radar and see how is it being enforced? What are we doing? Let's know what the rule is and I don't know how many people have dogs now in the city. I used to know, but,
I would guess the numbers stayed the same or gone up. I doubt it's decreased.
yeah. So, anyway, I'm just thinking that's one of our, not to belabor the night,
No,
but,
that's a good idea.
I mean, that's my soapbox every time I go to I mean, I walk my dog at Ahern a lot, and that's kind of my soapbox I get on every time, because it drives me crazy that people don't pick
Mhm.
it up.
Yeah.
Well, I do have to say,
I mean, obviously
too.
that's
Me
state,
too.
there's nothing we can do about that, but
well,
it's frustrating.
I think, and I have found, I don't believe the city has enough garbage,
waste
Cans,
receptacles,
yeah.
yeah,
around.
yeah.
I
Well,
mean, even if you go downtown, there's very few, there used to be a lot of garbage cans around,
yeah.
and there are very few.
So this kind of, so again, it goes back to when we were talking about the gardens and attracting vermin, or what are we doing? Like, I don't know what the bigger conversation is about that, but like you were talking about doing beach cleanups and all that other stuff. So is this coming out as an issue for the Conservation Commission to work with DPW on waste? Because don't we always do,
Mm-hmm,
like, the day of caring is a trash pickup on the WOW Trail
right.
and all this other stuff?
It's definitely an issue that should be considered, absolutely. I mean, I see people talk about it online, you know, especially like the WOW Trail and other trails.
So we should focus on an issue, and I think the poo issue is the bigger issue because of its ability to contaminate. I don't know how I got off on this, but you woke
That's
me
all
up.
right, you know, we
You woke
could,
me up.
some of the cities actually do DNA
Yeah.
to find the
Wow.
owners and the dogs themselves to
You on
find
DNA
them.
duty?
Was
I'm
that-
just saying, it does happen in some of these gated communities. If you're, you know, if
I-
something keeps happening, then they will do
I
that.
can bring some information on DES's poo
Okay.
initiative.
I can't wait to add that to the project list.
Right.
Poo initiative.
I am so I would definitely figure out what you want to, if you want to put in language for the poo initiative. And I would say also now is your chance if you want to put something in for the chickens, since especially that's a current topic that council's moving with. Now would be the time to put something into these regulations when we give this final draft to
Right.
the guys in planning. So
I agree.
That might be
I
a
agree.
separate thing that we should do, like, right away.
yeah, I would say that would probably be more of a time crunch, since you want to get to council
with the-
before it's said and done.
With the idea that it's not only, you know, can the buildings not be within, you know, the setbacks, but also, like Lisa said, with the thought to rats and stuff.
Well, and just how you're managing that resource.
Right.
Because you can effectively compost it, you can do other things with it, but I mean, so I just.
But
think-
even just having chickens there and eggs, I mean, the weasels and
Yeah, well,
it could create
yeah.
a different,
Well, that's kind of true of the dog poo too. Actually, I mean, I'm not trying to belabor this, but skunks, I made some article in the newspaper about skunks and that, people go, oh, I read that. And I'm like,
Right.
but, I mean, dog poo attracts skunks too. And so
Oh,
skunks.
I was thinking it would repel them.
No, there's a lot of rodent kind of animals that will, not that skunks are rodent, but that will eat, that kind of eat that stuff.
Okay.
And so I'm just saying.
Rabbits do it. It's called cropophagia.
Yes, they do.
They have to do that for their, to keep
Right, for
their
their
gut
digestive.
bacteria
Yeah,
healthy.
yeah.
Bree has rabbits.
So yeah, thank you, Deb. It's for soil health too. So just, you can
Right.
just call it soil health.
Right.
That they're properly managing their nutrient.
But I think if we do it from the standpoint of water quality, then it fits with the wetland regs.
Yeah.
But
'cause
we
I
can
would-
also say in there that it affects water, air,
soil.
soil quality.
You could even maybe try to add in that section that people who want to have agricultural elements on their property or like have chickens in the spa district have to come to Concom or something like that.
Well, you know, when I
So
think
you
about
can
it
inform
now,
them.
people should be prepared to compost their chicken waste.
Well, that's what I was saying, that for the nutrient management, there are
Right.
effective ways
I
to be
mean,
doing composting.
and there we are back full circle into the, you know, where does the city compost and how do we compost and,
Well,
yeah.
we were going to do a compost area up behind the prison, remember? We were gonna compost leaves,
Or up at the gardens too.
right?
Behind the prison is not ringing a bell with me, but,
Okay, well, maybe
well, I'm just saying, I mean,
that was a dream I had. I don't know.
no, you could be right. I think, maybe we did have a conversation, but it didn't go very far. That could be where I'm
Right.
thinking. Yeah, I mean, well, I think this is something that we should be talking to the transfer station or the burn dump about,
Right.
you know.
Well, if we can't get people to carry their dog poop in bags out of a hern, what's the likelihood we'll get them to take it out of a hern and take it over to the burn dump?
Well, no, it's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not what I'm saying.
Oh, sorry.
I wasn't thinking dog poo at
Oh.
no. I just meant where does the city have available land and machinery that they
Oh.
could be managing that? Because when you do composting, you have to be managing it. You can't just do stagnant piles.
So maybe that's a whole different section.
Yeah, it's getting late. We can figure it out later.
Okay.
Another
It's a winter
So-
topic. It'll
Okay,
keep us
Bob.
warm.
Bob, anything going on at Taylor?
Not an awful lot,
Okay,
except Comcast
What's going on with
making a
Comcast?
lot of noise and mess.
Are they running new lines?
Yeah.
They're not using the old ones?
mm-mm.
Oh.
I don't know why they're running new lines other than, Breeze Line may not allow them to use their lines, or the new lines are upgraded and better quality so that we get reliable service instead of every time I go to watch television, there's some interruption at an important point, from my perspective.
I have a question. Were we gonna try to do something with the stream, with the river drawdown?
So, this is not a drawdown year.
Next year is.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
kind of drawn down right now. 'Cause
Yeah,
it was
right.
kinda-
Nature did it
No,
for
that's
us.
what I was just thinking, because we had talked about, like,
Right,
yeah,
yeah, but this is,
I didn't realize they did it every other year. I'm so much
Yeah,
plugged
yeah,
in.
it's okay.
yeah, they did it last year, so we missed that opportunity. Okay, staff report,
All right. Walton Cove.
Molten Cove.
So this was an email that, well, first I got a phone call from someone who, I'm not sure if she is the association manager, but she somehow represents the association over at Molten Cove Condos off Hilliard Road. And very nice, but she said that she has residents and on their property line abutting another residential property. They have a lot of trees, boughs, and branches falling onto their property. So they would like to be able to cut those back, wanted to do it the right way, asked how we do that, but also her residents are telling her, and she's gone out and looked, that along the tree line, they don't want to touch anything because they're afraid it might be conservation land. I said, why do you think that? She said there are signs posted every so often. The yellow City of Laconia sign saying conservation. We went out there when we were water sampling, Dean, me, and Laura, and they are the signs that I have in my office. It does not say conservation. It just says this is, a posting by the City of Laconia that this is protected land. There's no motorized vehicles on it. So there are the signs that go up to say you cannot snowmobile here or ATV. So it's not saying it's conservation land. There are, in not this property exactly, but a little bit up from it, it abuts two pieces of the Aqua Vista conservation land. But the property line that she's discussing just is another residential property. So we ruled it out. Concom hadn't put up the signs. The city hadn't put up the signs. We're not sure who put them up, but either way, it's not saying it's conservation land. So as we just recommend that they speak with the abutting owner and come to an agreement about cutting down those limbs. If it's private property, they're allowed to do that as long as they're not clear cutting. So, but officially, that is not conservation land. So yeah, that was the.
Did you go and
scenario.
collect? Did you go and collect the medallions then?
No,
No, because they're bolted in like
Oh.
on stakes in
they're
the
on metal
ground.
posts.
I don't know who put those in, but I had originally contacted Dean and Deb to be like, hey, do you have any knowledge of who would have put these up? They said it wasn't Concom, so we got to the bottom of it. Hopefully things work out for them. But
How old is that association?
I don't think it's too old.
No, it's not.
I would say probably somewhere around the last decade. Like it's not.
Somebody had to put those there. Somebody from the city.
And I'm not,
They're City of Laconia signs.
yeah, they're City of Laconia signs, but they're not the ones that say conservation.
They don't say commission.
Easement.
Yeah.
It just
Right.
says City of Laconia. It's the same medallion. It's that yellow medallion that's about
Yeah.
this big around. And the area on, not on Molten Cove property, but on the adjoining property is an intermittent stream. And that's the stream that comes from Mike Foot's property, and so I think, so I guess I'm not certain that, I don't know how long the city has had a conservation commission. Deb and I've been here like 15 years, so, and Lisa, so we didn't do it. However, I could contact Diane Hanley, and Rick DeMark,
Mike might know too. Mike Foot.
but, yeah, but I can talk to Diane Hanley. She's over on the Massachusetts side. She crossed over the border.
She went to the dark side.
She's on the dark side. Ask her if they put the signs up. And Rick
Somebody has to know.
was on the Conservation Commission the same time Diane was.
Yep.
And so, and Diane wasn't on, there was no overlap between us and Diane. That was the guy from Opeachy whose name I can't remember.
Carol.
What?
Carol?
No, not Carol.
The
The,
Warren, not Warren.
the guy who
Oh.
was
guy,
the teacher.
Morningside Drive.
Yeah, he was a school teacher, right?
No, he wasn't a school teacher.
Okay, well,
Well, he might have been.
Was it Walter? Walter?
Yes.
yeah, Walter, right.
Yes. Walter.
Okay,
So,
Anyway, yeah.
yeah, we're not sure who put the signs up, but they're not alleging it to be conservation land. Looking at the map again, they don't actually directly abut even the Aqua Vista conservation land.
They
It look
could-
and the tributary is the one that is coming from the Moose Ledge property, and it flows down into Paugus there in Shadow Cove. So I'm thinking just before that was developed, they knew that stream was there, or intermittent stream, and they put those up to tell snowmobilers maybe when that was an empty lot,
Okay.
don't
It
go
could have been a
through.
wetland. I mean,
it is a wetland,
Yeah.
yeah, and there's a
so
buffer.
maybe back then they did.
So I think they were
delineate
putting
that.
that up just as a deterrent to say, don't try to drive through here.
I think we
So-
need to get a bunch of those and put them.
So,
I have a couple.
is, I had a box that I gave to, I think Taylor, anyway. So did you give them the okay to go and cut? I mean,
No, I said that, so all we do is we say you just, get in contact with your abutter and you come to an agreement with them about cutting, because it depends if the tree is on their line. They said the tree is on their side, but its limbs and branches are over into our yard and falling on
Right,
different residences' plots. So I told her to chat with them and see if they could come to an agreement. If there's any more questions about the conservation land, give us a call back. But we were in correspondence for a little bit, and yeah, so that's really all taken care of. But yeah, that was the Molten Cove dilemma.
extravaganza,
Yeah, that we investigated the other day. That's all I got.
yeah.
Make a
Great.
motion, we adjourn.
Gray took us on
Sorry.
a field trip. We're supposed to be sampling water, and we're out in the middle of the woods.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on adjournment?
I move
So, wait a minute, before we adjourn, Bree, no, seriously, Bree, do you have any questions? I mean. So this is essentially, with the exception of applicants who want to build something, who are going to be abutting a wetland or a wetland buffer, they have to come here and explain their project to us so that we can give them comments. And then they take those comments, Gray gives them comments in writing, and those comments go to the planning board, and then the applicant has to go to the planning board to get the approval to do their project. So we just give them suggestions, and so, with the exception of that portion of what we do, this is essentially what we do, except for the popcorn and not tonight, so, anyway, so, just so that you know what we're doing. Okay, so all in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay,
So Deb, I think his last name was Kalen, maybe Walter
Yes,
Kalen?
Walter Kalen.
that's
So
it.
the daughter